Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, there is soccer in the state of Pennsylvania for girls both in the fall and in the spring. This is the Spring Soccer Championship, and Ben, we've got two outstanding teams, a defending state champion and a young pretender to the crown.
Yeah, both teams I think are looking pretty good. Pennsbury has a lot of experience. They're starting almost all juniors and seniors. They've been here before. They know what they're doing. Hempfield has counted on some freshmen to get them here, but they seem to play together and have some experience going back 2 years. 1998, they were in the state playoffs. So the older players can sort of help out with the younger ones.
Pennsbury, the defending state champion, out of District 1, where they were also the champion this year, 18-4-2, while Hempfield, the Black Knights, come in out of District 3, where they were the champion, a record of 25-3, and certainly a great match looms here this afternoon. Two wonderful styles, but in a lot of heat today, Ben, and certainly the heat will be a factor as far as substitution patterns.
Pennsbury, they sort of spot their subs where they think they need them. Hempfield will sub mostly en masse, so they may have an advantage in the heat today.
As you look at the game today, the goalkeeper is always so important, and two outstanding goalkeepers, one for either team here this afternoon that we'll see on the field.
Well, for Hempfield, Eileen Musser is going to be a key for them. She had the keeper will be Shannon Myers. She had 16 shutouts this year. And so a lot of that relies on the defense, but you have to have a strong keeper for that. And in talking with the Pennsbury coach, they also said that Chrissy Dolan's going to be a key for them in goal.
Right now we're going to go to public address announcer Bob Schellenberg as he gives us the starting lineups for Pennsbury and Hempfield, getting ready to decide a girls' spring state championship in soccer here this afternoon at Hershey Stadium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Town USA, the sweetest place on earth, at the Hershey Park Stadium for the year 2000 PIAA Girls Soccer Championship. In today's game, will be the Black Knights of Hempfield High School beating the Falcons of Pennsbury High. And now let's meet the teams. First of all, for Hempfield, head coach Mark Ashley, varsity assistants Keith Bagley and Brian Woodville. The starting lineup for the Black Knights. Starting goalkeeper, junior Shannon Myers. And now the starting lineup for Hempfield. The starting goalkeeper, junior Shannon Myers. Wearing number 3, midfielder senior, Allison O'Neill. A freshman forward, number 4, Ashley Knowles. Senior midfielder, number 6, Julianne Stoltzman. Sophomore defender, number 9, Katie Hay. Sophomore midfielder number 11, Natasha Pushkar. Midfielder senior number 12, Maureen McGeehan. Junior defender number 14, Christine Wrightson. Junior midfielder number 15, Dana Sale. Freshman forward number 16, Lauren Conrad. Junior forward, number 17, Eileen Musser. Now for the Black Knights of Hempfield. And now for Pennsbury, head coach Lou Sunholt. Varsity assistants Joe Gallo and Tom Stoddard. Starting lineup for the Falcons. The starting goalkeeper, senior Chrissy Dolan. Junior midfielder, number 4, Allison Delman. Senior defender, number 7, Ellie Larson. Midfielder, junior, number 9, Tony Peterson. Forward, number 12, junior, Lauren Allen. Sophomore defender, number 13, Leanna Hultquist. Senior midfielder, number 20, Jenna Louis. Senior midfielder, wearing number 23, Lori Stewart. Forward, number 29, Leah High. Senior defender, number 32, Jen Kareka. And junior midfielder, number 42, Megan Sweeney. Your championship officials are John Giordi, Dennis Fishko, and Peter Daniel.
Well, there you have it, the starting lineups this afternoon for the Girls State Spring Soccer Championship here, PIAA style, at Hershey Stadium, brought to you on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring you the national anthem.
With the playing the Star Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Ben Smith, my color analyst this afternoon, the head girls and boys soccer coach at Red Lion. Ben, this is where every player, every coach I would think wants to be on this particular afternoon, playing in a state championship. And what a backdrop. You've got the Hershey Park behind you. You've got flags flying everywhere. It's a beautiful day. How much better could it be for a person who wants to play soccer?
This is the best. I went down on the field. It's in tremendous shape. You can feel the excitement from the players. You can see it. There's a little extra bounce in their step. So I'm ready for a great game.
As a coach in a game like this today, what's the last thing you're going to tell your players when they come out on the field? Do you have any advice for either team? Obviously, Pennsbury's been here before. They won last year, 1-0 over Twin Valley. But Hempfield, a newcomer on the scene with a young team. What do you tell them?
I think you tell them to try not to be nervous. That's always difficult. But a lot of times in big games, I tell my team to try and use that energy to put a lot of pressure on them at the beginning and see if you can make something happen. So that's typically a good way to get started.
Girls spring soccer in Pennsylvania really started in 1993, and we've had a number of great champions since then. Of course, Central Bucks West was the predominant team for the first 4 years. They won the championships. Emmaus, Council Rock, and then Pennsbury last year. And today, will it be Pennsbury or will it be Hempfield? We're getting ready to decide that championship in just a few moments here at Hershey Stadium. Certainly an exciting time. You play the whole spring, and only 2 teams involved in the last game, Ben, and that certainly is an exciting moment for these girls.
Yeah, this season, both teams come in with several losses, so they've had some setbacks along the way. Hempfield's trying to become the first team from District 3 to win a state championship in the spring. So I think that both of them have learned lessons along the way so that they're prepared for today.
Little gamesmanship down here in the sidelines already. The Pennsbury team, being the wise veteran state championship returnee, had a tent that they had brought over, and they put it over their bench. Of course, Hempfield doesn't have one over there, so I guess the request was made, get that tent away, and they did that. Both teams now in the bright sunshine, and temperatures expected in the mid-90s here at Hershey Stadium as we get ready to get this one underway. 40-minute halves. Of course, Pennsbury in the black this afternoon that you see in front of you. Hempfield will be wearing white. And we are ready to get it all started. Ladies and gentlemen, the PIAA Girls Spring State Soccer Championship. And we are underway. Quickly, Pennsbury on the attack. Mark, one of the keys, or Ben, one of the keys in this game is going to be the passing, obviously. A lot of short passing in this game, and we'll see a lot of that from Pennsbury.
Yeah, Pennsbury will like to keep the ball on the ground, play short passes through on the ground, trying to hit runners. They're going to play with 4 in the midfield and 2 up front, so the 2 up front are going to be a key to whether they can get pressure on the goal.
Chrissy Dolan, the goal keep for Pennsbury, picking it up, sending it back down the other way, and now Pennsbury trying to mount the attack.
Nice turn there.
Quickly on the other end, jammed up down there, but nice recovery by Hempfield to get it out.
Already you can see the skill of Pennsbury taking a player one-on-one with your back to the goal and turning and approaching the box into a very dangerous situation.
Hempfield doing a nice job of getting the ball downfield, and quickly an opportunity. And right in the right place at the right time is Chrissy Dolan taking a heck of a shot off the right wing. Beautiful effort that time by Hempfield getting the ball downfield, but turned away on the first real good effort of the day.
And an excellent shot, kept it low towards the back post. A well-taken shot and a nice save by the keeper.
So Lauren Conrad getting that shot off the right wing. And now Pennsbury back on the attack, and it's taken away by Hempfield.
And there's that pressure, I think, that Hempfield wants to turn the ball over just as they did, and then to switch the field so that you can get a good scoring opportunity like they just had a moment ago.
Just saw number 4, Ashley Knowles, there for Hempfield, one of those freshmen that we talked about that have been so predominant for this Hempfield team this year in District 3. Hempfield now getting back on the attack. Nice move downfield, putting it back to the outside, and here we come again. Conrad looking to center the ball to the middle. Heading the ball toward the net, but it, again, just a little bit off. But Hempfield looks very sharp so far in the early going, Ben.
Yes, they do, and you'll notice both plays were situations where they took the ball from one side of the field to the other side of the field to get their scoring opportunity. In that case, they get a cross back there for an excellent open header.
So important to be a good team in transition. You transition in this game so quickly from offense to defense, defense to offense, and Hempfield seems to have the better of it so far in the very early going here. 37-30 left in the first half.
And I think the player who headed the ball, Eileen Musser, is the leading scorer for Hempfield. She's going to need to put the ball in the net for them to be a factor to win the game.
Now Pennsbury starts to get back on the attack as we see Allison Delleman in the middle of the field with the ball. Taken out of there by Hempfield one more time. Saw Dana Sell in there getting the ball back for Hempfield, sending it the other direction. Hempfield doing a good job of getting the passing game going as they get it back to the outside to Natasha Pushkar.
Excellent ball into the corner.
Down the field to McGeehan, who has the ball kicked away from her. Be able to throw the ball in here on the near side as will be Pushkar inbounding the ball. Important to keep those feet down. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but you must have both feet down when you pass that ball in bounds.
And throw-ins are a key because in that position, it can almost be like a corner kick if you have a big thrower, or you can get somebody to flick the ball to the middle. It's a great scoring opportunity.
Go again. Good defense that time by Pennsbury. Pennsbury doing a very good job. It was Gina Lewing coming across that time and getting the ball back out of the danger zone.
But for now, you'll see that they're just really clearing the ball. They're not making a pass right to a player. As a coach, that's what you like to see, ideally. But the first thing is to get the ball out of danger.
Here comes Conrad again. Trying to line it up, trying to get those shoulders turned. Kicks it back to the middle. Pushkar. Get a defense for Pennsbury Stiffens, and now they're trying to get themselves on the attack. I'm not sure so far, Ben, but it looks to me like Hempfield might be the quicker of the two teams in the early going in this contest.
They're definitely on the ball, and for Pennsbury, I think they just want to sort of weather the first 10 or 15 minutes. They have the experience if it's a tight game. Hempfield comes out with a lot of youth and energy, and a lot of times you see that as hard pressure right on the ball, and you hope that you can turn that into a goal.
Well, we see Hempfield continually on the attack here in the early going. And we have a whistle. Ball remains with Hempfield. What was the call there, Ben?
That was a push, and the referee waited to see if the advantage would develop for the player. The foul occurred where the ball has been placed, but play continued for a few moments afterwards to see if that player would recover the ball.
Chrissy Dolan taking the long kick, and no harm done there. Pennsbury doing a good job here in the early going, really being defensive. As we see the first substitution of the game, getting ready to come in, it'll be Brenda Andrzejewski coming in for Pennsbury. And again, substitution patterns will be something we'll be keeping our eye on this afternoon with this heat being in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I would look for Hempfield to make a lot of substitutions today. Pennsbury says that they're going to probably just pick their spots for when they need the sub. So it'll be interesting to see where this player goes in, perhaps into the midfield to try and stabilize the attack and gain possession of the ball.
Dana Sell kicks it back to teammate Christine Wrightson, who now tries to get the attack going again. Here comes Hempfield. And it's Statsfuss trying to get it ahead upfield, centering the ball, but taken away by Pennsbury. Pennsbury trying to get on the move. It's Megan Sweeney. Nice pass downfield that time. All the way down ahead to Delleman. And Pennsbury retains possession of the ball. Their first and deepest attack thus far. As into the game comes Brenda Andrzejewski. And she will check in, and checking out will be number 32. That's Jen Pareka.
And the player you saw come over, the sweeper, Christine Wrightson, she's going to be a key for their defense to come over and keep balls like that. That could have been a very dangerous play, and instead she was able to win the ball away and get the throw in.
Even though the pass was taken there by Hempfield, that was an outstanding pass that went awfully deep, and there was a moment of hesitation by the Hempfield defense in trying to cover that.
Yeah, and again, the person who did eventually step up is Wrightson, and there she is again on the ball. That sweep.
Hempfield coming to meet the ball here. One of the things you've seen in the early going, not waiting for it, but coming to meet it and really playing the ball, not allowing the ball to play them.
And that's what you coach. You always tell your players, come get the ball, don't ball watch.
Here's the attack. Hempfield trying to use their speed and youth. Pennsbury just on the defensive here in the first 5 to 8 minutes of this ball game. 32-51 left in the first half. No score in the girls' spring soccer state championship. We'd like to remind you that you're watching this game on PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network, serving cable companies throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Good defense again by Pennsbury as it's cleared nicely down the field. And you mentioned just kind of pacing themselves here in the early going. Can you do that as a coach, Ben? Can you really pace your team at this point?
Well, I think a team that has a lot of experience can do that. They'll settle into their game, and as the game goes on, they get stronger and stronger. And if you're looking for the other team to come out hard against you, you're trying to clear the ball out and make sure that they don't get a goal in the first 10 or 15 minutes. And you look at that as almost if you are winning at that point.
Number 28 into the game, Leah Lasuski, and she has the ability to put some points on the board in a hurry. She's been an outstanding scorer for this Pennsbury squad, the defending state champion here, playing this afternoon against the young pretender, Hempfield from District 3. Pennsbury on the attack right now. They're in black. Doing a nice job of trying to reverse fields here and then looking for a relatively long shot that's turned away very quickly.
Yeah, that's a situation where you want to see maybe a combination right in the middle to get a little bit closer for a realistic scoring chance.
You mentioned early, Ben, that it's so important to reverse fields to set your attack up. Get that defense moving. Don't allow them just to stand on one side of the field and play you without having to move a lot.
When Hempfield especially, they seem to have a lot of speed with Lauren Conrad out on the right side. And so when you switch that ball, if it's a race for it, if you can win that ball, then you have a chance to really have a setup for a great scoring chance.
Well, substitutions coming early and often by both teams as we see Liz Hay into the game for Hempfield, another of those underclassmen. She's a junior into the defensive position right now, and Pennsbury with the ball and on the attack. About the last 3 minutes, we've really just had the ball in the middle of the field, 20 yards either side, just kind of trying to establish some position.
I think that's what you would expect out of two quality teams, that there would be a lot of play in the midfield, probably very few chances, and that's why it's extremely important to finish those.
Delleman trying to find someone on the other side that time, number 4, but not able to find any player, and Hempfield clears it out. Pennsbury gets it back.
Good battle for the ball there.
There's Delleman again. Her foot was so important last year in this tournament.
An excellent play there by the keeper to keep the ball away. She got out of the 6-yard area and wanted to go over there and make sure that nothing else happens, so she knocks it out of bounds.
There was a time, Ben, sorry to interrupt you there, but there was a time where the keeper, you only ever thought of them as catching the ball, but So important to be athletic, be able to know what to do in a split-second moment, tip it away, when to knock it out, when to grab it. That's a tough, tough job.
It's probably the toughest job on the field. Most teams won't have a goalkeeper coach, but they expect the goalkeeper to be ready to play. And that was a situation where you get really away from your goal and you have to just react.
First corner of the afternoon, and look at this. There's exactly what we were just talking about, reacting well. As that ball was hooking into the goal, and a beautiful save that time by Shannon Myers of Hempfield. But it'll be another corner kick now, corner kick number 2 of the afternoon for Pennsbury. I'm interested in how Pennsbury lines up here for their corner kicks. They all got in the cage, so you couldn't see how they were lining up offensively and ran out at the last second to get set.
And most teams will have a couple of different plays that they'll use. Here it looks like they're going to put most players at the back of the box and make runs into the box, hoping to hit somebody on the fly. And almost did.
Another great save by Myers. He tips it out, and quickly Hempfield turns it around in the other direction. So Julianne Statzfuss coming out of there quickly, and now here comes Hempfield, but no one out there to receive the pass. Centered so nicely from that position in the middle of the field.
Now that was a situation where they actually stopped the counterattack. They had a chance. They looked like they had numbers and had speed going, but they stopped, tried to maintain possession, and weren't able to do it.
And I guess if you think you have the speed advantage, you want to turn that thing around in a hurry. Get that other team running backward in a hurry and keep them defensive all afternoon if you can.
And that plays into the heat as well. I think it's always easier to run forward than it is to run backward.
With the exception of 2 thrusts here in the early going, Hempfield's been running forward most of the time, but Pennsbury has managed to defend quite well. Nothing here, or 0-0 as they say in Europe. 28-27 to go in the first half. Hempfield with the ball. Hempfield in white, Pennsbury in black this afternoon for the girls' state championship here at a beautiful sun-drenched Hershey Stadium.
There's that switch of the field.
You saw Leah Lasuski, who just came into the game a few moments ago, ready to put the attack on. Good defense by Hempfield to get it away, but Pennsbury becoming much more aggressive here in the last 4 minutes.
Certainly, and that's a ball that you'd prefer to see hit out over the sideline. I think that's what the player was trying to do, hit it out of the sideline, give them a throw-in rather than a corner kick, which is much more dangerous. Last one, of course, was that in-swinger that had to be saved off the line.
3 corner kicks now within the last 2 minutes for Pennsbury, so you definitely are seeing a swing right now to the offensive side for this Pennsbury Falcon team.
And I think that's what Coach Lou Sudholtz wanted for them. Maintain in the first half, keep the lead, and then start to exert yourself about the 15-minute mark, which is what we're coming up on.
The ball actually came off Lasuski that time, picked up by Myers, and it'll be kicked out of there. Good, strong kick by Shannon Myers of Hempfield. Now Pennsbury keeping the ball in their end of the field. You see Chrissy Dolan. Now Hempfield gets it back. Hempfield trying to get an attack mounted again. Hempfield with 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores starting here today against the Pennsbury team. That's the defending state champions. What an outstanding game they played last year in beating Twin Valley 1-0. And again, that if you've been here before, you kind of have that swagger a little bit that says, I'm a state champion. I know what it takes to do this again.
I saw it in the warm-ups. Pennsbury looked very relaxed, very comfortable, confident, knew exactly what they were doing. And Hempfield looked good in the warm-ups, but there's just a little bit of an edge there, a nervousness perhaps. When you've won and you have so many returning players, you expect to see that.
Julianne Statzfuss with some good footwork in the middle of the field, but now here comes Lasuski. Lasuski's showing a little bit of action on the other end herself. She tries to drop it back to Megan Sweeney. Sweeney finally gets it under control for Pennsbury and moves it to the near side.
An excellent job. She maintained possession, found an open player.
Jamie Lombardo trying to get it downfield. Some good physical play on the near sideline here as both players checking each other very nicely.
And all that's legal soccer. There, it is a contact sport. You are allowed to use your shoulders.
Pennsbury now keeping the ball in the other end of the field pretty regularly, and Hempfield going through a 5 or 6 minute stint here where they have been on defense that entire period of time.
And one thing to look at is the substitution pattern, because sometimes when you go to your bench, you can lose the momentum that you once had. And so you want to be careful about bringing those starters back in.
You can also lose some of that chemistry where you're used to being with a certain person out there, and now all of a sudden you have a brand new combination on the field.
That does happen, and I have noticed they haven't substituted for these front-running players. So they must be counting on them to do the scoring for them.
Kind of a half-hearted effort at the goal that time by Hempfield. as it was centered nicely, but taken away by Chrissy Dolan and cleared out of there for Pennsbury. Chrissy Dolan had an outstanding game in the cage last year when Pennsbury won the state championship. And, of course, she's been to this dance before and really showing some expertise there, if you will, this afternoon in that keeper position.
And Pennsbury got here. They've only given up one goal in the state playoffs, and so you expect that it's the keeper and the defense that have been keeping them off the board.
Pennsbury with a free kick here. And Pennsbury has slowly but surely gone from the defender to the attacker in this game with 24-35 left here in the first half at Hershey Stadium. We'd like to remind you that over 2.7 million people throughout the state of Pennsylvania have a chance to watch the Pennsylvania Cable Network. We know you are used to watching legislative shows on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, but now you can watch PIAA state championships like this one this afternoon here at Hershey Stadium. We thank you for joining us, and we hope that you enjoy all of our PIAA telecasts throughout the fall and spring and winter seasons. Thank you. Back here at Hershey Stadium, Ben, Hempfield now starting to mount a little bit of an attack again.
I think this is what they want to do, carry the ball down the field and spot the open player there.
Again, their shots so far coming from about 25 yards out, and that's not exactly where you want to get your main offense from. They seem to be passing the ball well to about the 25-yard point.
Right. They need probably one more pass to really get the ball into the box. Now, their very first shot of the game came on a situation like that, so you might look for them to make that adjustment, one more additional pass into the box.
Lasewski with the ball on the far side. Taken back by Hempfield. Hempfield quickly upfield as we saw Katie Hay with the ball. And cleared away again by Pennsbury. Trying to find a way to get those shoulders turned, get that turn in the corner. Nice job of getting the ball back downfield very quickly for the Pennsbury Falcons at times. We saw Lauren Allen on the far side. Hempfield doing a good job of checking, though, never allowing Allen to get those shoulders turned and get that ball centered to the middle. Ben?
Yeah, that was excellent defense there. She ran shoulder to shoulder. You don't want to foul in the box to give up a penalty kick. A corner kick there is perfectly acceptable to stop the play.
Delliman, Hughes, and Hyde back into the game for Pennsbury. So the revolving door continues to work on the sideline. Keep those players fresh. You're going to have 22:31 left in this half, and then another 40 minutes to play the second half. A long day ahead here as corner kick number 4 is taken by Pennsbury. Great defense by Hempfield. 2 good shots by Pennsbury, and Hempfield turns them away again, and here they come.
And this is what I think they want. They have a lot of speed here. Play the ball to the corner. Unfortunately, the player that moved to the middle just ran down the middle instead of coming back out to the corner.
Saw Allison Delliman with 2 almost point-blank shots at the goal, and both turned away nicely by the young Hempfield team.
And the keeper will thank the defenders for that because the shots never got to the goal. And here we see the front line players coming out for Hempfield. So I would look for them to possibly try and put a little more pressure. You can already see number 5 is moving all the way up front.
What was that old statement someone made once? The fatigue makes cowards of us all, and I don't think either coach wants any cowards here this afternoon. No cowards to start with anyway. Both these teams have played very well in getting to this game, but certainly hard to fight 95-degree heat here today at Hershey Stadium. It's a little bit hotter probably down on that stadium floor than it is up here.
It is. I've seen players already, if they get close to the bench, taking a little drink of water. So I'm sure that will be a factor. There are probably some players who will have to play, like the sweepers. I haven't seen them get a break, and I doubt we will.
Well, Mark Ashley of Hempfield and Lou Sudholtz of Pennsbury doing a great job so far of really using all of their personnel that they can and trying to keep them fresh in this state championship contest. As Hempfield has the ball, moving now in the other direction very, very quickly.
And again, they stopped the attack. They had a player making a run to the corner, and the player cut the ball back in the middle. Now they've maintained possession, which is what you want to see.
Betsy Klein with a nice job of getting to Stotsfuss. Stotsfuss down the far side, trying to get turned, get that ball to the middle, and here it comes. And knocked away nicely over there by Pennsbury's defense.
Good job of winning that ball back. That's always a key to scoring goals.
Good passing by Hempfield here. Short, quick passes, reversing field constantly. Trying to get it back to the middle for a shot. Pennsbury again right on top of it. Outstanding defense by Pennsbury's Megan Sweeney.
And that's that last pass they're looking for. If they can connect on that pass, I think they'll score some goals.
Must have heard you, though, Ben, because they started to make that last pass, at least to try to get that opportunity.
Well, I'm sure. I know they're a well-coached team. They probably aren't listening to me.
Well, Mark Ashley does such a great job here with Hempfield, as does Lou Sudholtz with the Pennsbury Falcons. And here come the Falcons trying to get flight down the field. So we see the Lombardo centering the ball to the middle. Back to Lombardo, a little give and go. Back to the middle again for Pennsbury. Dangerous situation.
Very dangerous for Pennsbury. Excellent offensive attack.
Allison Delman not quite able to get it clean, but she had a good look just for a split moment, and a good save again by Myers as she clears it away, but not very far, and Pennsbury right back on the offensive. Here's Lombardo. Good defense that time by Hempfield. Maureen McGeehan has played an outstanding game so far defensively this afternoon for the Black Knights, as we saw her again involved in chipping the ball away on that play on what might have been another dangerous situation, Ben Smith.
The outside fullbacks are going to have their hands full. Early on, we already saw Pennsbury players taking them on one-on-one and beating them, so that it's going to be a tough job to mark their outside back or their outside forwards.
Throwing the ball in bounds will be Kelly Larson as she gets it in. And winning the battle that time, Dana Sell for Hempfield. Getting it to the middle, back to the outside, Julianne Stotzfuss, and then chipped back in there by Pennsbury. Shannon Myers has done a nice job in that goalkeeper position today thus far, as Hempfield just clearing it downfield right now.
Now, with your forwards out, that can be a good play. If you have players up there who can put pressure on and turn the ball over like they just did. Pennsbury had to just clear the ball out, and again, they're just clearing the ball out. And if you can win this ball back, you can get an attack off of that.
We saw Jenna Lewin doing a great job back there at her midfielder spot and getting the ball back out. Hempfield now trying to get back on the attack. Good defense by Pennsbury as it's chipped out of bounds. Just took the angle away to the middle.
It was wonderful passing to that point. The defender made an even better play.
What do you see so far here with 17:45 left in the first half, Ben?
I would say both coaches are probably happy. Pennsbury seems to have that chance to put a sustained pressure on and perhaps get a goal. And Hempfield seems to be settling for a counterattack, which is extremely dangerous. Probably has the better chances so far.
From a coaching standpoint, do you try to just survive the first half and play one half for scoring and maybe just, make it through the first half, have everybody pretty fresh for the second half, and then get ready to be a little bit more of a scoring team?
I know for myself, I always, you want to get the goal first, but if you get to halftime and it's 0-0, you're always happy. You never want to give up that first goal, especially in a game like this.
And again, fatigue can cause you to have those little openings that just have that moment where the goal's scored. And in this game, it appears more and more as if one goal might stand up and be a winner.
Could be that way, and both teams have played some very close games, so they have experience with that. But I think, the longer the game goes, the more likely you're going to see a mistake made because of heat or tiredness.
I've been very impressed so far with the transition games of both these teams. Hempfield maybe with a little bit more quickness. I think Pennsbury with a little bit more savvy as far as turning it around.
Yeah, Hempfield they definitely are fast on the counterattack, but they sometimes stop the attack when they have the advantage, or maybe press it when they don't have that advantage. They're really trying to maintain control. Pennsbury has an excellent counterattack and always player to player.
Just saw Maureen McGeehan in the middle of the field again. She's had an outstanding game thus far, both offensively and defensively. Ball kicked back upfield by Hempfield. Again, back to the middle of the field. Back on the foot of McGeehan there for a moment, and Hempfield trying to get by that final back.
And called jumping in there on the Hempfield player, ran in and didn't go straight up for the ball, jumped into the Pennsbury player.
15:50 to go in the first half. We have no score, 0-0, as they say in Europe. Is that the way you say it here in America, Ben?
I might say it. I don't think my players would say it that way. They'd say, huh?
A guy would say zip, zip, nothing, nada, nada, but today it's going to be 0-0 for us. That means no one scored yet here at Hershey Stadium for the girls' spring PIAA state championship in soccer. Both teams have played very well thus far. No score in the games. We're seeing a lot of skill out there, Ben.
Both teams are tremendous. You can see why they're here because they have smart play. excellent passing, and very aggressive physical conditioning.
One of the raps that soccer gets, I think, as a spectator sport is the fact that there's not a lot of scoring. But when you see skill like this, you've got to be impressed. As we see Pennsbury with the ball, Lori Stewart trying to find a way. Lori Stewart getting a shot. Look right here. Good defense by Hempfield.
I think soccer does get that bad rap. It's unfortunate. We've already seen lots of great chances that have been turned away by equally good saves by the keepers. And so you don't always have to have a goal scored in order to make it exciting.
Allison Delleman saved that ball on the far side for Pennsbury. Now gets it back to the middle of the field and a long shot. No good.
And there was another situation. Oh,
Boy,
just wide.
Just wide, but a good look that time by Lasowski as she let a bullet go, and it just missed the net wide left.
And that was a situation where two players, both in the middle of the field, beat their players one-on-one, and it could be fatigue that's sitting in there because Hempfield has a very strong defense.
So a serious effort again by Pennsbury, turned away, maybe by a little luck, along with some pretty good skill by Hempfield. Hempfield gets it back, and they're trying to mount a big move here with 14 minutes to go in the first half.
And you notice in that shot, that player put it just past the post, but really that was all she had to shoot at. Keeper had the entire net covered, it looked like.
Ball in bounds. McGeehan heads it downfield for Hempfield, kind of harmlessly. Just reverse back to Pennsbury, and now Hempfield trying to pick it up, get on the attack. Pennsbury, the better of the two. And Pennsbury right now seems to be a little bit more under control of their game, actually, keeping Hempfield bottled up in the defensive end more times than not.
And that could be the experience from being here before. You kind of know to settle down. But here we go on the counterattack.
Just as we said, the ever-present McGeehan, beautiful setter, but no one there to pick it up except Chrissy Dolan for Pennsbury, and that's not the one that I think McGeehan had in mind when she centered it.
No, that was just missed by a matter of a few feet.
Whistle blows. We're going to have substitutions into the game for Hempfield. And it's Aileen Musser who gets in, and we have an injury substitution that time. Trying to see who the number is down there. The person just came out of the game.
And on injury substitution, the other team is allowed to substitute as well, and they're going to take advantage of it.
Mandy McFerrin, the player coming out of the game and walking down toward the other end. Looked like she did something to her left ankle. She comes down to her bag, and I don't know if she's going for some tape or what, but she definitely had a problem with one of her ankles as she was really hurt down there.
And they put the ball back into play with a drop kick because neither team had possession.
And we're looking down there at McFerrin. She's actually reaching down at her right ankle and getting some water right now. One of the things I guess you'd have to worry about this afternoon, too, cramps, as far as making sure you have enough liquid in you. So we see Hempfield on the attack.
Yeah, you certainly have to worry about that, and hopefully the players that were hydrating before the game and especially during the game and at halftime.
Looks to me like McFerrin had some cramps that time. She's over at the water table right now, kind of filling up again and making sure that she is hydrated enough to get back in there a little bit later and make a contribution. Here comes Pennsbury. Lasowski trying to fight it out. Taken away that time by Hempfield. That was Courtney Wright sitting on that play. Courtney Wright's another of those freshmen that we've talked about today. And Mark Ashley doesn't have any aversion to playing his freshmen thus far. They have a lot of experience as far as play. And I guess by this point in the season, you're no longer a freshman. You might be moving on sophomore status, right, Ben?
Yeah, certainly the girls have played over 20 games already. But when you have freshmen that play like this, you don't have to have an aversion. But I think it's also a statement to Hempfield that you can have freshmen play and still play as a team as we see them doing that.
Nice job here by Hempfield getting the ball back downfield.
This is a run by the sweeper.
Good touch to the outside. Good defense again by Pennsbury. Hempfield trying to mount the charge again, but not able to do so that time. Allison O'Neill trying to chase it down for Hempfield, but Pennsbury's defense has been up to the task this whole half.
Certainly has. Now, it's interesting. Hempfield sent their sweeper on that run. She got all the way up to the opposing box, and that can be a very, very good tool to score goals because it's a player you don't expect to make that run forward. And here she is in the back and just watching the ball, but an excellent play there.
Christine Hughes has it taken away by Hempfield on the other side as Dana Sell controlling the ball in the middle of the field. Dana Sell looking downfield, touched away again in the middle. name we've called a lot this afternoon, Megan Sweeney for Pennsbury, now gets it ahead and just couldn't get it under control that time. Good Lauren Allen. Substitutions continue into the game for Hempfield. And again, I think we're down to a point right now, it looks like, Ben, where both teams just trying to survive the first half and get to that locker room with a 0-0 score on the board.
Probably is the case. You probably won't see defenders make runs too much more this half, especially because you get tired, you get back, you might make that mistake that costs your team the goal.
We saw Pennsbury weather the emotional start from Hempfield. A couple good shots. Hempfield has weathered 4 corner kicks on the other end, and thus far it is 0-0, 0-0 if you're from Europe here in the first half. Whatever way you look at it, there's been no score here at Hershey Stadium. The girls' PIAA State Spring Soccer Championship. Don't forget you're watching it on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. We'd like to thank our people here this afternoon doing a great job of bringing you these pictures around the state of Pennsylvania, serving over 2.7 million Americans. And Pennsylvanians as well.
Hempfield seems to be getting the short passing game right in the middle of the field going on, right where they are now, trying to look and spot a player on the ground perhaps, or in that case in the air. But they really are having a lot of success right in that part of the field.
Pennsbury trying to turn the attack around as Hempfield sent everybody down that time, almost to the midfield line. Now Pennsbury moving in the other direction. Christine Hughes trying to find a way to get the ball in the middle. Good defense on the inside by Hempfield. Turning in the other direction. Hempfield has the ball middle of the field, trying to control it there. So Jessica Cortese is not able to find anybody on the near side. Ball inbounded by Pennsbury to Sweeney. Head up the field to Lauren Allen. Allen loses the ball out of bounds, being defended quite nicely over there by Dana Sell of Hempfield.
But that was another situation where Lauren Allen was able to get around a Hempfield defender one-on-one. Just unfortunate the ball went out of bounds. Bad break for her.
Ball be thrown in bounds here by Hempfield to no one in particular, it appeared that time, except the Pennsbury player. Christine Hughes got it back to the middle of the field for Pennsbury. And again, both teams just kind of content right now to battle it out 20 yards either side of that midfield stripe. Just waiting for maybe a lucky opportunity, a quick moment that you can get down like this possibly.
That's what you would expect. Both have strong defenses, and so you're going to have to make an excellent play to score a goal.
Good job by Julianne Stotzbus of keeping the girl on her back, getting the ball back for Hempfield, moving it ahead downfield very, very quickly now. Jessica Cortese looking to the middle.
And that was a quick restart. They got the ball down, set, and hit the ball before Pennsbury really had a chance to react and almost sprung themselves down the right side.
Jenna Lewin, the senior midfielder for Pennsbury, doing just a wonderful job of defending back there this afternoon. Now Pennsbury mounts the offensive again. But not for very long. Hempfield takes it back.
Hempfield does a good job of playing total team defense. Even if one player gets beat, there's always somebody there ready to step up and take their place.
Ben, you know, you watch a lot of teams as we see Myers with another kind of harmless save there. We see a lot of teams kind of like sharks to a feeding frenzy on defense, but Hempfield seems to use a lot of their individual speed to be able to play you one-on-one, and they seem to bank on that quite a bit.
They do, but they also have excellent positioning off the ball so that the player who's behind, if the initial player gets beat, they're able to quickly get over and be in good defensive positioning.
Aileen Musser had the ball for a moment, but got through her legs and kicked out of bounds by Pennsbury. It'll go back to Hempfield. Tracy Spielhofer will throw the ball in bounds on the far side, and you're seeing some hands on knees there. I was watching Spielhofer over there getting ready to throw the ball in. You're seeing some hands on knees, and I don't care whatever sport you're looking at, that's a universal sign of fatigue.
It certainly is. Now, we just saw Hempfield substitute back in their 2 freshman forwards. Now, those are the players that started the game. They had a nice long break, so perhaps they're trying in the last 6 minutes to really make a strong push for the goal.
Larson Lombardo, along with Lori Stewart, are waiting to get back in for Pennsbury when they can here in a moment as the ball is inbounded again by Hempfield. Looking to make something go, and they might have it right here. Centered to the middle, but just out of bounds. Couldn't quite get turned to get the good Center kick that time was number 4, and she has been outstanding throughout the first half. That's Ashley Knowles.
And just a player, that's a player who just came onto the field, a little extra speed perhaps, an extra burst, able to get by the defender.
So important on a day like today where the temperatures are in the mid-90s. We have 5:38 to go in the first half. For a coach to have a feel for what's going on. You may not be back here again. Who knows? Although this is Pennsbury's second straight trip as a state champion. You need to have a feel as to what is going on here this afternoon. And really, as far as the substitutions, it's absolutely essential.
It is. Both teams seem to have that. I haven't really seen very many lapses at all. It's almost seamless, player to player comes on.
And again, I guess that's the reason those two teams are here this afternoon in the state championships. Not hard to figure that out. Pennsbury and Hempfield trying to win the gold here at Hershey Stadium as we tick to 5 minutes of the first half. Still 40 minutes to go in the second half here. Don't you dare change that dial right now. Two teams want to be state champions in Pennsylvania. One will be silver, but the gold is what everyone's thinking about right now. Can't say enough about the shape of this field here today. Of course, there'll be another soccer game here tonight. It's the Hershey Wildcats get ready to play tonight in the Professional Soccer League. But they just do a great job in this stadium year after year after year, Ben, and a wonderful surface to play on.
And the surface seems very fast, ideal for that quick passing attack that both teams want to play. You're not going to get any bad bounces, and the ball's going to move very quickly.
Kevin Stump, of course, the general manager here at Hershey Park Stadium, and, of course, Tom Stevens. We've known him for a lot of years, the assistant general manager, and he just kind of watches over this field like a mother would watch over a child and takes care of it constantly, and it's in super, super condition today. And, again, hats off to those people for allowing a championship effort to be played on championship turf. Good battle here on the near sideline. Hempfield getting a chance to reverse fields to the other side. As we've seen Marie McGeehan picking it up for Hempfield. Sending it down that far side. Back to the middle now. Sent it again to the middle. Hempfield, a little something going on here. Trying to find someone on the outside.
There's the switch of the fields. Perhaps players just a little bit too tired, didn't make the run early enough to get open there.
Tried to find Natasha Pushkar out there, and Pushkar just not able to catch up to it. Pennsbury gets it back. Pushkar with the ball. Taken away by Pennsbury's Lombardo. Ball sent out of bounds off Hempfield. Pennsbury continues to slowly, methodically try to get something going here with 3:05 to go in the first half. We'd like to remind you that you're watching this telecast on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, serving cable companies throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We certainly appreciate you joining us this afternoon to watch these two outstanding girls teams vie for the PIAA Girls State Spring Soccer Championship here at Hershey Stadium. Nothing's our score. 2:43 to go in the first half as Hempfield in white with the ball. Pennsbury, the defending state champions, trying to keep it away from their net right now. And Hempfield, the more youthful of the two teams at the moment, has a little something going here.
As with any young team, you do need senior leadership, and there it is for Hempfield. Maureen McGeehan has just done an outstanding job. She's been one of the best players on the field so far.
So Pushkar trying to head the ball out of there. And again, it's off Hempfield. We'll go back over to the other side to Pennsbury as Megan Sweeney gets the ball in bounds. We tick down to 2:04, now 2:03, coming up on 2 minutes.
And you're in that time now where you definitely don't want to give up a goal. It would be a killer to go into halftime with your heads down after giving up a goal here.
Have you ever had a problem with a team kind of looking at the clock and saying, well, we're almost there, and that's the moment that you seem to get hit?
It does happen, and both teams scored goals along the way in overtime in the last minute of play, so they've had some success on that route.
Number 14.
4 more substitutions into the game for Hempfield as Mark Ashley continues to try to save legs and keep his girls away from fatigue, as has Lou Sudholtz on the other side. Both coaches, I think, have done a brilliant job here in the first half of using every resource at their disposal.
And when you're subbing here, when you get into the last 5 minutes, a lot of times you want to slow the game down, give your players a break on the field as well as the substitutes.
So we're likely to see more substitutions on defense here in the last minute or so than we would anywhere else.
It could happen. It looks like both teams have the players in. They want to finish this last minute up, though.
And the last minute it is as we tick to 1 minute right now of the first half. Girls State Soccer Championship, 0-0, nothing, 0-0, any way you look at it here at Hershey Stadium on a beautiful day. Pennsbury would like to have the last shot. Hempfield has it back, trying to find just a little seam in what has been an impenetrable Pennsbury defense thus far.
Yeah, Hempfield's best chances came very early on, and I'm sure they're disappointed that they weren't able to really capitalize on. They had 2 great chances in the opening 5 minutes.
We're down to 30 seconds now in the first half. Hempfield apparently will get the last look offensively of the first half as it's centered to the middle of the field. Pennsbury, again, just content to send the ball out of bounds right now. Run the time off the clock as it ticks down to 16, now 15 seconds.
And they have all their players back trying to protect the goal. Don't let anything in here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We now will shorten the season to one half of play, 40 minutes to a state championship, and we'll start the second half exactly where we started the first half, Ben Smith, at 0-0. Both teams an outstanding first half. Your thoughts after looking at these two teams in action?
Well, both teams have very strong defenses. I would say it's probably going to be a 1-goal game. Hope it has the potential to go to overtime. Pennsbury, this is where they can count on their leadership and the fact that they've been here before. They can sit down, they can say, look, we won 1-0 last year, let's do it again. Hempfield's going to go into the locker room, probably try and regroup, and I would think they want to work on that short passing game. It really has been effective for them.
We're going to come back and get inside the coaches' heads here to start the second half in just a moment. We'll also be talking with the Associate Executive Director of the PIAA, the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, Mr. Robert Lombardi, when we return on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, serving cable companies throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Back after this.
You're watching Girls PIAA Championship Soccer exclusively on PCN, Pennsylvania's Championship Network.